What's up, guys? Tim from Olsen Motorsports. Today I want to show you guys a little bit of our cleaning process and what goes into an engine after it's been disassembled. Here we have a 964. This is a C2. Somebody actually used RTV on the cylinder case housing, which we don't recommend. We recommend actually using the Worth DOS flange sealant. So this is something that we use in all of our engines, but somebody put this together with RTV. So I have an engine block over here in our ultrasonic cleaner that is done from being cleaned. And I'll show you how we get through that process of cleaning to get to this point. This one, and it's really hot. Well, this is 160 degrees, but that is perfectly clean. So we'll bring this over here. Look at the difference. This one will have to spend a little bit of time on getting the rest of this gasket material removed. Traditionally, we would use our friends at Miro Kloops. So these guys are awesome. They send us all of our scraping and degreasing tools. You would normally come over here and do something like this to scrape, but that's just going to take way too much time. So what you do is you get it hot first. So if we bake it in our machines that are 160 degrees, it really makes this stuff turn kind of hard and brittle. And you're able to just flake it off with a quick, little scrape of a tool, or you can also use one of the little bristle brushes. But this stuff here, once you get it hot, it loses its bond to the material, and then 2 or 3 minutes of cleaning. But this thing is pretty much ready to go to the machine shop. It's almost perfectly done. So let me set this off to the side, and I'll show you what we use. So this all came apart about 15 minutes ago. We have another RTV special on the cam housings. And then we have cylinder heads that aren't that bad. But we still need to get these perfectly cleaned up and ready to go out to the machine shop. So before, back in the day, before these wonderful machines came out, we would do all this by hand with like a regular standard parts washer. Now with our processes, we can perfectly clean something, an engine start to finish, in about 6 hours. So it really makes it nice. So here's the first step, which we're not going to use today, because this one is actually, this engine's perfectly, it's pretty good, but this is just your standard safety clean parts washer that most normal shops have. And what we'll do with these is what kills our machines is oil. So take this one in here, knock a little bit of this oil off. This is aqueous based, so you don't need gloves. Just run through here, grab some of that debris and a little bit of that oil off of there, because that'll clog up all the filters on our other machines. We service our machines once every month. The key to having a really good cleaning process is the quality and the age of your detergent. So once a month, all these machines get cleaned out. This is the Magido HP30. It's a 1000 psi high pressure blast cabin. It's got air inside, a little air for the And then it's also got a hose. Never use it. These things just sit over here and hang out in their little holders and kind of get in the way. But we never use it. This is the gun right here. So this is just an H spray pattern, and it's at 160 degrees. So this one's at 160 degrees over here. We've got it turned pretty much all the way up, so it's fast and hot. This is the first part of the process. This takes about 5 minutes, start to finish, to clean the initial cleaning of the engine block. Done. That's simple. The hardest part of the job is getting these gloves off. I can never figure out how to get these gloves off, so I just end up making a mess. And I get mad and pulling it off like this. If somebody's got an easier way to get gloves off, leave a comment. So that's basically it. This is clean as far as this machine goes. Like I said, it's a light detergent, and what that does, it gives it a little bit of a luster to the aluminum, but it basically dislodges all of the grease and oil on these motors from all of these little passages. Like I said, it's 1,000 psi, and it's heated to 167 degrees. And then it's time for the ultrasonic. Guy, put him in here. These are my handy hooks, also from Mueller Caps. They sent these over to us as well, and I use these to go into the engine case here. And they're really handy because you can bend them. You can bend them in any direction that you want to bend them and make a hook or do anything you want to do. So what I do is I just get it in here like that, fold it back on itself, which is really hard to do when everything's slimy and slippery. You can fold them back on themselves, and you just make 2 hooks. And that's how we get them into the ultrasonic bath. So this is the Pro Ultrasonics 60 gallon using their Pro 300M solution, which is awesome. Guy here. We'll just dunk in the tank, reach down here, set ourselves a 15-minute cycle. And I don't have a big enough tank to where I can fit all my stuff in there with an engine block. So while that's being washed, we'll go over here and we'll start cleaning up all of our cylinder heads so we can put everything in one tank. That'll run for 15 minutes. By the time we get everything else cleaned up, our 15 minutes will be up and we swap it out. I really wish back in the day we had the capital and the resources to do this right the first time, because having the right machinery really makes all the difference in the world. And there's no way you can get these parts this clean. It's impossible. Alright, so that process is done. Let's fight with the gloves again. This is fine, so it'll blast off any of your old gasket material. And all this stuff is just degrease, all the little oil channels. And then this stuff right here will eventually come off after we get out of the ultrasonic tank. All that stuff will come off. So I'll just bring my basket over here, start piling parts in. Cam, you want to help? Come on, buddy. You want to help? Look. Look. And on these, I just stack these guys because it is an ultrasonic cleaner. So I never try to lay anything on top of something else. And I'll stack these guys. If you haven't noticed yet, I'm a very impatient person, so I like to keep moving. Let the machines work for themselves. So I usually spray one side of them, then I'll flip them all 180 degrees. Spray again, repeat the process. This thing's such high pressure that you don't need to spend a lot of time in one spot. Flip them all on their tops. It will get carbon buildup. Time. What? That's fine. One more time and these bad boys are done. That is done. Like I said, this is the first part of the process, and the second part of the process is ultrasonic clean. Third part of the process is a little bit by hand, but if you look here, no carbon. It completely eliminates carbon. If the carbon's really, really bad and built up, you'll have to go a couple more cycles. Like on this one, we got a little spot right here. We have a little spot right here. We'll have to throw that in the ultrasonic cleaner and go one more cycle on that, but no biggie. So let's go check on our engine block. What do you think, Cam? Is it? Dude, check it out. Is that clean? Cam, is that clean, buddy? Come here. Look. Is that clean? You good to go? This is my buddy. That's my buddy Cam. We got about 3 more weeks. So he's officially 80 pounds and a big ham. So we got about 3 more weeks before I can pick him up. So I'm cherishing every moment of that. Get your ass out of here. So this one's got a filtration system, which is a bunch of holes right here that just shoot water over. And what that does is it agitates. As I just turned it off. What that does is it agitates the water and it pushes all the oil to the back. So a lot of times you'll pull something out of the ultrasonic cleaner, it'll have splotchiness on it. And that's an option for these, is you can put that filter on. So this is only in here 7 minutes instead of the full 15. So I always just come up and down a little bit. Before it starts to dry, before that starts to dry on there, I'll flip it over, get some of that water out. So this is fully degreased, and the next step, we'll just have to remove this RTV, which it'll come right off with our Mueller Krebs. I processed my clean parts. Got a double tank going in here. Next batch of parts going in. Press the button. We're good to go. So a couple different ways that we can clean this. We're going to take it over to the bench, put it on the bench. On the bench and get this off. So a couple different ways that we can clean this. Like I said, this is a double carbide spacer, so it's sharp in both directions. I'll just take it here, press middle finger on there. We did a YouTube video on this actual scraper, and then I just do broad strokes. And this pretty much just flakes right off. So in here, where it's not getting in there, that's the porousness of the aluminum, and that will be a separate process. We will knock the big stuff off. And using these big scrapers, what you won't do is you won't gouge into any of the aluminum. They're really phenomenal. So you just, the trick is light pressure and move fast. When you start to get too involved in it is when you start to gouge things. So I just do long, even strokes. like this. And then once there's a couple different ways of doing it. Once you get to this point and you get that top layer knocked off, you can in fact throw it back in the ultrasonic cleaner and have another go at it. But I like to use a roll lock on that. And on these corners, I just turn the blade over like this and I run it backwards. And you almost use it like a deburr to lodge that inside layer off, and then just peel it with my hand. Some people, you can take also a blowgun and do it. But yeah, if you just run it backwards, you can use a razor blade, but I'm too lazy to go get it, so I just use my hands and almost just use it like a deburr. And then this, once we get this all cleaned up, this will go for vapor blasting. Cam's down here chewing on something. He found something on the floor. Hey, leave it. What are you doing? Hey, what did you do? Stop. Go get a job. So let me grab the next tool that I'm going to use for this, and I'll be right back in just a moment. What did he find? So we have a couple different options. These are from Worth. So green is really stiff and yellow is a lot softer. So I like to use yellow on aluminum. So the last thing you can possibly do, the worst thing you can possibly do is stay in one spot. So right here, like I got this little spot, and the most thing you want to do, that's it. You don't want to stay in one spot any longer than that. We can grab our more aggressive green one, which I typically don't like to use. See how I gave a little bit more of a hash mark in that? That's as far as I'm going to go on that. Another thing that we can use is up here, we have an entire collection of Scotch-Brite pads. So white is the softest, and then I think brown is the heaviest. Yeah, brown is the heaviest. You don't want to use that, so I typically like to use gray. Gray Scotch-Brite. There's a little bit of brake clean. I spray it on the Scotch-Brite itself. You don't need much, just a little bit, and it'll take that right off. Like I said, you don't need much. You don't need much brake clean. The brake clean just kind of breaks it down and gives the Scotch-Brite a little lubrication. If you guys are wondering why we have blue countertops, these are just mats to cover our stainless, so everything stays nice and pretty. But you don't have to work this super hard. Just gotta knock it off a little bit. Like I said, even with Scotch-Brite, you don't want to stay in one spot and just sit there and scrub on it. You want to keep moving. What I'll do is just kind of run down the side a little bit, let the brake clean sit there, and agitate a little bit. And come back over it with a fresh side. And this will go for one more dunk in the ultrasonic for a full 15-minute cycle. It should be done. And the beauty of having all this machinery is you can be sitting here doing this one by hand while the machines are over there cleaning something else. This is usually where I like to turn the tunes on and turn them up and go crazy to forget that I'm cleaning parts by hand. But YouTube loves to kick our videos down because of musical content. So we gotta run it sans music right now. You see how easy this comes off. If you had started without using the machines, you'd be sitting here for hours trying to get this stuff off, because it would just skate over. It makes like a rubbery substance, so it would just skate over the top. I just keep turning my Scotch-Brite till I find a piece that has a little bit of roughness to it. That should be good. Now let's take this guy. Oh, I missed one spot. The cameraman was in the way, so I missed one spot. I see this one here, I'm just skating over the top of it, so I'm not going to waste any time on that. I'm just going to grab my machine. Scrubbing's wasting time. Always let the machine do it. That should be good. So that'll be good to throw back in the ultrasonic cleaner. Let it run itself one more cycle, and speaking of that, we will go check. See how the rest of our parts are doing. Can't even begin to tell you how hot that is. It's crazy hot. So then, what I do with these is I run them over to the sink. To the sink and just spray them. Try to get some of that oily substance off of there. Any of that dispersion. If you got the ultrasonic cleaner's fluid is safe, but sometimes you'll leave fluid on the pieces that you're trying to clean. So I just give them a quick little rinse. Like in here, see this little spot right here? See where it's got the colored fluid sitting in it? Over time, that will leave a little bit of a brown spot as it dries. So make sure you get that out of there. So we're all set up for production. We got carts and drainage tile and everything set up for production. Bring this over here. This is another motor that we just finished with the same cleaning processes. I'll take these guys, set them out. And this will get sorted for different stages. Powder coating here. We'll go strip these, vapor blast these. The studs come out of the housings. All these go to zinc. And then our finished engine block on the other side. So all we have left to clean is the cylinder heads. We'll get started on that now. How are you doing on battery?
32.
So these guys we'll grab out of here. Dump them in here. Roll them back over. Watch out, Cam. Move your ass. Come on, you're in the way. And this area just gets nasty by the end of the day with all the moving around. So we just grab the hose at the end of the day, treat it like a restaurant, wipe down everything, and have it ready for tomorrow. Now in this machine, you got to make sure you turn the filter off, because if you try to turn the ultrasonic cleaner on with this filtration running system, it disturbs some of the ultrasonic frequencies. It doesn't do as good of a job. So I just turn that back off, close the lid. Then we'll grab our engine block and run it through that machine one more time. Run it through this machine. It'll help us clean this surface one more time. It'll go back in the ultrasonic and all your engine parts are clean. I'm telling you, these gloves are hell. I gotta come up with a better solution.
Spray and pray method. Truly, when you can be blind and do your job. That hose back on.
More glove battle. Can we curse on camera? We can't curse on camera, right?
Why not?
Because I really want to curse at these things right now. They're pissing me off. Oh my god. It's the worst. So this is done. I got all my... What I'm probably going to do is I might just grab... I think we're okay. I could grab the Scotch-Brite and try one more time. Maybe miss a couple spots. But we'll let the ultrasonic clear. It'll blast that right off. We'll set this in the queue. So our cylinder heads are in there getting done. They've got 2 minutes on the clock. It runs a 15-minute cycle. I'm super impatient, so what I end up doing is about 4 or 5 minutes in, I just grab it out and I see where I'm at. Just I don't like to sit there and be not productive. So we'll just wipe off our countertops over here because we made a big mess. couple hundred rags a week out of this facility. It's absolutely ridiculous how dirty things can get. So like I said, these little blue, these are actually for electronic servicing. They're anti-static free mats. You get them from Uline, and that's what I have covering all the countertops. It just makes cleanup a breeze. So I usually clean as I go. You know, I'm always cleaning or doing something. We are in a time-based business, so trying to be as efficient as possible is everything. Throw this phone in the garbage. It's driving me crazy today. There's a funny story. One time I did a whole YouTube video on all of this. So this is the second time I've shot this video, and we forgot to press record. So the cameraman was sitting there the entire time, and we had this perfectly good video, and I was like, oh my God, we're gonna break the internet. I told like 5 stories, and we didn't capture a single piece of content. I was so butthurt. Probably gonna happen again. So we're at 14 minutes on the ultrasonic cleaner, so we can grab our stuff and go back over here. The engine block prep to go in. So I didn't even know about Mueller Keps until I was on the Snap-on truck one day. And I was so impressed with their tools and the ingenuity of everything and how well they work that I decided to make a YouTube video on it. And then they started sending us stuff, which is super cool and really, really thoughtful. So they're my favorite company right now. So we're done. Let's grab these guys out. What do you think? These cylinder heads are going to look good?
For sure.
Man, it's hot. I should probably have gloves on for this. This is the beauty of drainage tile. You just make a mess and everything falls in. We'll pop our engine back in. Let this thing eat. And go wash off our cylinder heads and we're done. Will, how far are you coming through, pal? You know, a lot of people say you're getting all these metal parts wet. So that's true. Nothing in this store will ever rust. We keep the AC on. We keep the AC on full blast year round, so there's no humidity anywhere in our store. Look at those things. They look like they're ready to go on, but I know they're bent. So this one's got 3 bent valves. Cylinder, all intake from piston contact, fresh build, and you got to run 60 thousandths piston to valve clearance at a minimum, which is 1.5 millimeters. And this one was assembled at the wrong deck height, not by us obviously, by somebody else. That's what it's here for. So the rest of the process, which we'll do in a second video, is dry ice. So now that we've cleaned the actual engine pieces themselves, all the plastics and rubbers and any of that kind of stuff, that gets dry ice blasted. We don't subject it to the heat. And we'll do that in another video, and I'll give you a sneak peek. I'll give you a sneak peek of what that's going to look like. This engine right here, 75,000 mile, 993 turbo. This engine right here, this will get dry ice blasted. So that's how you get cosmoline off. Fastest way to get cosmoline off is dry ice. So this car here will get dry ice blasted, as well as the engine torn apart, and we'll make a video on what we do to get cosmoline off. That's our process. That's our processes on cleaning. Make sure to check us out. If you have any questions, comments, or ways that we can do it faster, I'm all about speed. If you can find a way for us to do this job faster with better results, please reach out. Please turn on a notification bell, subscribe to our channel, and let us know what more content you would like for us to do, and we'll make a video on it. Thanks for watching.